All right. Sorry for the Matthew McConaughey on opening here. Just really wanted to get this party started. Wanted to get in, get talking to the folks. I know normally we kind of go live a little bit earlier. It's been a chaotic week to say the least, but that's my problem, not yours. I'm just here to bring you all the best geek content I possibly can. Without further ado, I'm going to shut up for just a second. Let's get this intro going. Let's talk shop. All right, guys, Brent here back with Geek to cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. Tonight, X-Men 97 was going to start us on off. We'll be covering episode 5 in its entirety as the watch stream party indicator has shown. And then as well, we're going to switch gears as soon as that's over. And then we're going to switch on over to Star Wars as soon as we finish watching X-Men 97. That being said, there is so much geek content this week. And of course, it's my first full week with like a new job. So of course, there's going to be tons of great geek content coming out. We have Fallout dropping literally within 24 hours from now that we will also have covered for you, the viewer. So excited for that. Can't wait. I'm a huge fan of Bethesda Game Studios, all their lore. I'm not nearly as familiar with Fallout as I'd like to be. So I've got about 24 hours to try and cram as much additional information as I can about the Fallout series into this rather sad brain so I can understand, learn, and try and get as much of an understanding as I can going into tomorrow. Really excited for that. And then not only on top of that, because we got X-Men 97 tonight, which tomorrow will be the official breakdown with Tony and probably Will, maybe. I'm hoping. I know we'll have Tony for sure. I know I'll probably be there. So X-Men 97, the official breakdown will be tomorrow, but we'll watch tonight. Star Wars, Bad Batch. We're nearing the finale. Got like 4 more episodes. Tons of insane stuff is breaking out throughout the series. So we're gonna have that coverage tonight, and I'll have the breakdown done shortly after we wrap up all this live stream, so I can have all my thoughts in a succinct place. But for you, the viewer who watches along with us, I thank you first of all because I know it's a late night. There's tons of great content creators out there. You chose Geek Variants. Thank you so much for that. I'll have the official breakdown done after this episode, but you hear my thoughts first and foremost, so that way you can kind of understand where I'm coming at, where my mind's at, what kind of angles we're going to try and take to dissect things. A lot of people have a lot of different theories going on right now about who they believe is what's going on with the story, how they're going to get characters back that just went through a traumatic moment. So I'm very excited to see what the fans think, how those theories play out. I have a strong theory in mind for myself and for those of us who cover all things geek. So I'm very excited for that. And then on top of that, Friday will be kind of a bit of a reprieve, but I'm sure there'll be tons of great content because we drop shorts each and every single day for you, the viewer, to check out. Right now, it seems like 3 Pacific Standard Time, 6 Eastern Standard Time seems to be that sweet spot that people are able to catch it. And if they're not able to catch it on that day, they seem to be catching it on the next day. Appreciate each and everyone who's been checking out those shorts. Saturday, though, the brand new release, Kaiju number 8. If you like monsters, if you like guns, if you like a more mature sort of protagonist, as in he's over the age of 30. It's a shonen anime where there's someone who's not a child as our main character. I'm sure there are people who are like 17, 18 in the show. That being said, they're not in that weird niche where it's like, hey, this is My Hero Academia. There's a bunch of 15-year-olds who have to save the world. Good luck. No, this one's got a 32-year-old. Basically, imagine this. We all went to, middle school or high school. Imagine you have a janitor at that job. One day, you don't see that janitor anymore. Turns out that janitor had a kaiju jump into his mouth, and next thing you know, inherits superhuman strength, speed, power, stamina, you name it, all that sweet stuff. And now, all of a sudden, that janitor has just rolled in like the elite of the elites in the military and is out here whooping butt, taking names, serving the Japanese National Defense Force, or insert whatever country of origin you're at, because the Japanese National Defense Force is what he's on. Imagine just that scenario happens. You'd just be sitting here going, what what is even happening right now? That is insanity at its maximum standpoint. And now there's gonna be tons of gunfight, tons of crazy battles, a bit of gore, some suggestive themes like smoking is gonna be in there. It's very, very light as far as covering other style of content. So it's not like it's gonna be something you can necessarily show for kids. But at the same time, if your kids are probably teenagers and they're very comfortable with seeing a protagonist smoking and kind of hanging out, it's less mature than say like Chainsaw Man, but it's going to be fairly solid as far as the maturity theme on it. As far as everything covering Kaiju number 8 is going to be a great series when it does drop. Youngblood and One Republic are doing the opening, so that's going to be absolutely insane. Youngblood drops nothing but bangers, so the fact that they're on this is going to be absolutely nuts. The studio that is handling it has handled the Evangelion films and Psychopaths. And with the money behind it from Shonen as the creator, there's going to be a lot of great stuff about this. The series is relatively new. We're only like 89 chapters in, I want to say. So there is so much of the story that is still ongoing. We don't have an actual finale for it. It's kind of like I can't think of a series right now, honestly. That's still currently being written. I would probably have to go with the My Hero Academia, would probably be the nearest one. That's still being written, so no one knows where the definitive conclusion is. That being said, there's so many chapters out after where everything's taking place where you can kind of get, a little spoiler heavy. I myself, this is just one of the books I've been reading. This one's book number 3. I've finished all the way through book 5. I got a lot more to catch up on, so that way I can ensure I've got all the great geek content for you, the viewer. And then there's even more great geek content that has been continuing to drop, because now we're going to have an amazing anime heavy lineup next month. Next month, we have Demon Slayer returning and My Hero Academia returning. Those will all be ongoing while the Bad Batch is still ongoing, because Bad Batch has 4 more weeks. I want to say it goes into the very first week of May. And then after that, we still have, My Hero Academia will drop week 1 on a Saturday. And then on not that very next day, but the week afterwards on that Sunday, Demon Slayer will be dropping again. So we'll have 2 of the big 3 of the new era will be continuing to drop. We got great stuff coming there. Solo Leveling will be dropping again in the fall, which I think is absolutely nuts to see that Solo Leveling is already coming back this fall. I didn't expect it to have such a quick comeback time period. And then we have Hell's Paradise coming around. That's going to be interesting as all get out to see that probably coming back. And then there's still that heavy rumor that Black Clover is going to be continuing to come back. So we have a lot of great stuff to cover for you, the viewer. Fallout is first and foremost in my mind, though. I've heard mixed opinions from the community. I follow a lot of content creators who do a lot of Bethesda style content, who kind of get this hoodie out of here, who kind of do all this great content surrounding Bethesda, or just do their content surrounded around Fallout, or for Skyrim, just Elder Scrolls in general. So there's a lot of good stuff to be broken down there. I want to hear what you, the viewers, think about all this exciting stuff, because I'm absolutely jazzed, to say the least, that we're going to see such good amount of content coming out for the viewer. Because right now, as geeks, we are eating good, and that's not even going to say what we have upcoming like 2 months from now. Because 2 months from now, Star Wars: The Acolyte, that's dropping. The Boys season 4 dropping. House of the Dragons season 2 dropping. Guess which place you're going to be at to watch each and every single one of those shows as a geek community and hang out with us. Right here, Geek Variants. This place, hanging out with me, hanging out with Will, hanging out with Tony. We've got all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more covered for you guys, as well as shorts that we make each and every day. So you have some kind of content if there's not a show dropping, or if we don't have like a preview or kind of like a recap kind of synopsis, sometimes character deep dives, depending on relatively new characters for you, the viewer, to enjoy. The easiest way to do that, go ahead and hit that lovely subscribe button that way, or follow if you're on Twitch so you can check out all that great stuff. And just, I would probably recommend keeping that notification bell off, just because sometimes, we have weird hours. Like right now, 11:49 Pacific Standard Time to 2:49 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a little bit of a bizarre business hour. Last thing you want is your phone alerting you, hey, Geek Variants is alive right here, right now, waking you up. Unless you're into that sort of thing, then hey, by all means, come hang out with us, talk geek. The comment section is for you. Let me hear your thoughts. Let me hear your opinions. Let me hear your ideas. There's tons of great geek content out there. Always open for suggestions and new ideas on things to cover. Just trying to get up to date with a lot of things ongoing here because I still need to get caught up on Tokyo Revengers is one of the show I need to get recaught back up on. I'm like halfway through season 2, but then so much other geek content came out. I kind of got lost in the sauce and have been buried since. I've been able to recover and get back into all that stuff because Star Wars is dropping. Xmen 97 really swept me off my feet. Invincible finished last week. I still haven't watched the finale for season 2. I've heard how the community has reacted to the episode. I think that's a great sign. I was able to catch Will's breakdown on it. Will and Tony have actually read the source material. I have not. I know they've made some changes as the show's gone on. I know there's that big character that dropped the week before, and Anissa, who's supposed to be this huge character. To what extent? I don't know. Going in fresh. Anytime there's a Robert Kirkman comic, you kind of have to have a certain mindset in order to do it. Kind of like The Boys. It's going to be dark, it's going to be mature, it's going to be graphic, it's going to cover a lot of insane things. So to have to go through and like sit and cover each and every step of what they've changed from book to show can sometimes be interesting, because I know they took a couple characters that they used a little liberally last season for The Boys that kind of rub fans the wrong way, but there's been such a nice gap, and Amazon has been absolutely killing the content game that I trust them with this decision-making process that they have ongoing. The other thing that really needs to be covered and really needs to be addressed as well is that Rings of Power could be back. We could get more, Lord of the Rings style content dropping here within the next, probably by the end of summer. They have a teaser going on. They said they worked through the writer strike. They didn't stop. So for them to still not have content dropping after the same time period that the House of the Dragons was, because they were basically going simultaneously last time, is very, very interesting. Just seeing where things are going from that perspective. Very excited to see what that show was. I was one of the few people that really actually liked the series. I came in with an open mindset, and the open mindset was they didn't own the rights to a lot of the stuff that they were doing. There was going to be a lot of liberal choices that had to be made. Covering the story how people wanted them to cover it from the book perspective was never going to happen. Were they going to make certain characters fit more of today's narrative? Of course they were. That's just the climate that we're in. Very few shows are able to still be as blunt as they were at the time that they were written, in order to push forward with their still same style narrative without affecting the stories and how things played out. I think The Boys and Invincible would probably be the two best examples of how covering today's interesting social climate and what you can cover overall and how blunt you can be done correctly. They still have stuff that would cover basically tons of the amazing styles and the amazing backups, the content overall that needs to be addressed so you don't miss a lot of the story, but still having stuff where you can tell that inclusion and diversity has been represented in some capacity. So things are going to be kicking off in a huge way for us geeks here shortly. I hope you guys go and enjoy all that style of content with us, Geek Variants. I want to be perfectly clear that I am super, super excited for all things geek, how things kind of play out here. I want to be able to provide the best style of content for you guys, the viewer, and that's going to be our main purpose. Just so we're also clear, 5 minutes from now, I cannot show the episodes directly on the YouTube or on Twitch. That is against all copyright laws, and that's against so many different other creative rights. However, we can talk through the episodes. We'll put up X-Men first and foremost. We'll cover that in its entirety. And then from there, we will have so many other stuff to go through. Once X-Men 97 is finished, we will go ahead and then switch gears to the Bad Batch, get my thoughts synopsis out there. You guys will be the first to hear my opinion on all things Star Wars. And then from there, we'll be able to go on and have other great stuff out there to have talked about with the rest of my video breakdown, which I'm kind of interested to see how they're going to retie everything back together. There's a lot of great stuff that is ongoing as far as the story is concerned, because X-Men 97 will give us that quick recap. We have everything going on with Aurora, Storm, our girl, the one and only, the goddess of all thing nature. She is going through it right now with Forge. Very interesting situation. And then they have that new villain who popped up, who is basically feasting on nightmares, bad desires, things of that nature, and has her kind of in a terrible situation, as the rest of the X-Men are still struggling with the fact that everyone's relationship is in a terrible, terrible place. Scott and Jean are basically non-compatible at this moment in time, just because Scott basically had a baby with somebody else that he thought was Jean but wasn't Jean, so things are complicated to say the least. And then Magneto and Rogue are having a tough time because of everything going on with Gambit, because Gambit and thinks him and Rogue are totally a thing, but Rogue is definitely down for the Master of Magnetism, and they have been doing some long training, some long sessions in the training room, if you would. And Morph is having a field day with that, although Morph is not having a field day of being the X-Men, who is usually by himself, because even Jubilee now has a romantic partner in Sunspot. So things are definitely going in a very interesting manner in all things that. Last week's episode is probably the worst one of the season, but it's still great geek content. The Bad Batch, our recap is that the Empire finally got a hold of where our girl Omega was at. They showed up to the planet. They were starting to attack families. They're starting to attack people personally. They were making everyone suffer. And in doing so, they ended up taking a shot at the Marauder, the ship that the Bad Batch Clone Force 99 operates, blew it to smithereens. And in doing so, Wrecker took a huge hit and was basically incapacitated for, I want to say, 90% of the episode. And then Omega ended up offering to turn herself in so she could get a homing beacon shot by Crosshair onto the Empire ship as they're fleeing, so they can figure out where that the Imperial base on Tantus was, and get all the information so they can go out and break free all of the other clones. That being said, Crosshair got distracted during the time that he was supposed to make his shot, and then he tried to take the shot and he missed badly. So now our girl Omega was kidnapped for no reason. There's not going to be any information given from that. And now we're going to have to figure out once again how to circle back, get her, and maybe, just maybe, we'll get some information on, I believe the designation is CX2, the Empire's baddie, who's absolutely causing havoc for this team because he was able to not only sneak up on the planet, he's able to sneak up on Clone Force 99, and then execute a plan that he or she knew would work in order to get Omega to go with them without any too severe of casualties as far as civilian life is concerned. So there's definitely a lot of good stuff coming down the pipe with that. Very happy with the Geek content last week. X-Men was a little boring for me, but at the same time, I'm a new viewer. I wasn't an original X-Men 92 viewer. I wasn't covering all those things back then because, I wasn't even born when the series dropped initially. And then by the time it was on television, I didn't care for it nearly as much as Batman, the animated series, or Justice League Unlimited, Teen Titans, all that other good stuff. I was usually more into Toonami and all things concerning that, whether it was Zoids, Zatch Bell, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Sailor Moon, Yu Yu Hakusho, things of that nature, which I think have been done, as well as other great geek and anime style content that I have thoroughly enjoyed seeing come back around. It's interesting to see how Zatch Bell just basically fell off the edge of the universe, and I haven't seen a single hair of it pop up anywhere, like at all. So that's been very interesting to say the least. Sometimes you'll be able to see stuff like this kind of make a reemergence, like Yu Yu Hakusho. I wasn't anticipating it having as big of a comeback as it did, let alone it being a live action. But at the same time, when they did do the live action, I think they did it well. And it's one of the few animes that you're able to adapt without going anything too crazy. That being said, let me go into the chat here. Let's see. Watching. Got a new keyboard trying to make this work. Watching X-Men episode 5 now. That has officially dropped. I'll have it playing off to the side. I'll also be chatting with anyone who is here hanging out with us. Appreciate anyone who is stopping by at this time. It's interesting that they're going back to this moment involving Bishop and the Goblin Queen, who I was down bad for, off as well. Magneto's awesome speech, because I think they've done him so much justice in this show. Bringing back Genosha. Oh, Bishop, you are so emotionally hurt in this series. He's kind of like a super angsty Edward at this moment in time, but he's just French. The opening, though, still crisp, still amazing. Still love what they've done with it. A lot of the old timers, the people who watched the original, feeling it all the way through. Even as a new viewer, I do enjoy it a lot as well. Also, Morph with a huge power up from what was going on in the beginning. Fantastic as well. That being said, not really feeling a lot of what's going on with Jubilee. Don't really care for that character as much as I do everybody else. So gonna be interesting. In this trailer, they've got Nightcrawler and Cable popping through, so it's like interesting to see where they're gonna go with it. I don't know if I just missed it last time or they're just slowly trickling in a few more people to go on and take a look at. Might be popping up here shortly. I'm not sure I would send Beast as my ambassador to humans. He's very long-winded and puffy. Uh, but also, I can't send Magneto because of his history. So it's like, yeah, Jubilee, that's not helping. Cyclops is still super emotional, as always. Where are they getting this footage? Is Scott just moody and everything? And Gene didn't pass out during this, so that's shocking. It's in the 3 hours. I don't know. Rendezvous. Oh, Magneto gets his own statue. Okay. I like where they're going with that. That girl just flew straight into a beam. Directly. So that's pretty wild. Devil horns and wings, super cool. Magneto is right. Oh, okay. We're not really. My girl is back. Although I probably shouldn't trust her. I'm just saying. Madeline Pryor. All the sass from the United Nation of Magneto here. All the sass. Nightcrawler. That is a very interesting style of unitard. It looks like it'd be stupid uncomfortable. It looks like it's just in your crack. Magneto is making all the moves about retiring with Rogue. I see you, Master of Magnetism. Oh, Gambit. Taking your weird, petty, cheap shots for no reason whatsoever. I'm still shocked, though, that they're not like, of all the places Aurora could have gone, they wouldn't have accepted her here, even though she's now powerless. Hmm. Nightcrawler out here roasting everybody. Gambit, you are a complicated, complicated individual. Now Scott's kind of getting powered back down again. The media is roasting his existence. She hasn't passed out yet. How do we know it's still her? Every time Scott's busy, we always have Wolverine trying to pull some moves for no reason. He is Mr. Steal Your Girl every time. Yes, being a mutant would be complicated for all relationships. And with Scott being indecisive, things are only going to get worse. The romance in this is interesting. I- Wolverine always sounds like a very, very complaining pirate. And she's blushing. Oh, what? Wolverine just got what he wanted and made a pass? Made a direct pass. Hmm. You leave Scott alone for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. He's sounding more like Magneto than Magneto right now. You don't leave the moody, angsty Boy Scout alone with the media. Things don't go good. One united community. Top of the morning to you, boyo. Miss Frost, very nice. He looks like the Beast from Beauty and the Beast. That one guy. I don't know his name. Not even gonna try and pretend otherwise. Magneto's just getting all the job promotions right now. Literally all of them. Mm. Would you, as chat, make Magneto ruler of the X-Men and Genosha? But I'd do it. I'm just saying. Rogue's out here just playing the field. Everyone else is at her mercy. Bro, you just kissed Wolverine. Why are you comforting me? My feelings are not necessary right now. Mm. But also, she sought you out in this situation, so questionable. I can't see color, but I just went on a racist tangent. That's you, Scott. That's you. Oh. Mm. Everyone's having a moment here. I'm still super happy we have Jean Frost hanging out here. She seems to be moving something behind the scene. Oops. Scott? Mm. Mm, mm, mm. He's just burning this whole episode down rapidly. No. You can't be a man and say, I love both of you. No man will ever get multiple women at the same exact time in a loving, caring relationship in a TV show. In a TV show environment, it never works. Ever. There's too much going on. Take a spotlight away probably can work. X-Men and mutants? No. No, 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 no. Oh, she almost fainted. She almost fainted. There's number one right there. Gambit and Rogue about to have a moment. Okay, Okay, she's wearing those shorts and she thought Magneto wasn't going to be like, how are you doing? He's old, not blind. Try me like one of your French mutants, mon cher. Hmm. Gambit is going to attack Magneto at some point. I'm just calling it now. She says, I need physical intimacy. Gambit took that in stride. I was completely wrong. Rogue needs to stop trying to play the field and then play victim. Sometimes things just don't go your way, and that's fine. Just don't drag other people in your business like this. Also, it's crazy that they made like a whole club on Genosha, which of course Nightcrawler is hanging out at. All the cameos from this is gonna make Tony so happy. That is still up for question. We don't have an official answer on what she's gonna do, but why are we getting the sultry entrance? Are we really gonna have to watch this? And now Gambit has to watch this happen right in front of him. But will Goblin Queen chase after Gambit and make things even more romantically complicated? Probably. Also, how do you fly dance? Like that's something entirely new. Okay. There's a lot of a spark there, but is there a yes or oh, right in front of Gambit? Complicated. Things are getting complicated. She didn't faint though, so Madeline's already 10 times better than Jean while being her club. And she's still playing the field. Cable? And, oh, oh boy. It's a problem. That is a whole problem. That is the entire problem. She's gonna go looking for Gambit immediately. Oh, hello. Oh, might as well have flown around saying, hit me, hit me. Oh, okay. Maybe that's why I wasn't in the opening. Because he just took a hit. That's not a hit, that's oh. These things are in, oh, there's a whole platoon of them. Fantastic. Also, this human lady, she is insanely brave. You telling me I gotta save everybody while I'm like not as powerful as everybody else? That's a problem. Also, this is the best episode of the season, just so everyone's clear. There's gonna be so many like cool looking thumbnails from this episode. It's gonna be ridiculous. Nope. Well, the symbolism there. Magneto took out Charles' statue. Is he gonna snap right now? There it is. Thanks for the offer. I don't really handle all business side of things, but thanks for your time. Sorry, Pereira. Um, that's something that the channel creator would have to handle themselves, and I am not the person to talk to about those particular things. Thank you so much for the kind words, though, in there. So, thank you for that. Magneto is jacked for being as old as he is. I'm definitely throwing that out there. Oh, Omega level threat detected. Oh, come on. Please don't kill Magneto. Oh, don't tell me Magneto's going to make the ultimate sacrifice. Hmm. Come on, man. I'm just. Oh, come on. Brooke's about to go off, though. And also, I have to give Gambit huge props for doing this. Uh, JK. Oh, everybody's dying. Everybody. Still giving him huge props for doing this, though, on so many levels. Was that his plan? To get stabbed? Oh, his plan was to get stabbed. In the heroic self-sacrifice. The show's just gonna put me through all the emotions. Too many. Too many. Scott, too many. Yeah, Magneto, Gambit, Rogue's probably gonna be okay. The Lover's Tryst is over, but everything else is complicated to say the least. Gambit's fried. So last week's episode was boring. So they make up for it by destroying you emotionally this week. They don't miss. Because that's I don't even like have a deep connection to the originals. But at the same time, I felt more emotions in this animated series than I have in so many other things in a long, long time. So that hurts from a huge number of perspectives. Like I was just not prepared for in any single way, shape, or form. We have to figure out what happened to Magneto. Gambit's beaten at pulp. Cable showed up. Nightcrawler made an appearance. But based upon the storyline that they're going with, holy cow, they are really bringing out all the big guns. Slowly going to switch gears here, get Star Wars stuff up and going. We'll have Bad Batch coverage starting here shortly. Thank you for everyone who watched the X-Men. But holy cow, that was something. Um, that was definitely ooh, that's a doozy. We want to see all of our coverage on that and have someone actually intelligent break it down, aka Will or Tony. Be sure to hit that lovely red subscribe button or that follow button if you're on Twitch. I'm gonna check out the channel, all the great things there. A lot of amazing stuff upcoming for you guys, the viewers, including the Fallout series coming up here literally less than a couple hours. That being said, episode 12, Juggernaut of the Bad Batch, is what we're going to get into now. Episode 12 of Bad Batch. We are starting now. Hey, look at that. I'm actually getting the hang of typing on this keyboard. Maybe one day I'll get to be like an actual, like, adult and all that stuff. So, what we're going to do here is get that episode on started. And right now, I got to say, tough competition competing with X-Men 97, which was incredible. Could be one of the best animated episodes I've seen maybe ever. It's at least top two, top three for me right now. It was fantastic, but I could be living in the bias of I literally just watched it. So a lot of great stuff there. Super, super excited to have Tony do a full breakdown on that one. Let's get that Star Wars content rolling. And then I'll have my full recap of Star Wars once this episode is done. There's a lot to break down here right now. We start, of course, with Hemlock receiving Omega. Are we going to get the unmasking of our main villain, though, or are they going to wait on? Because we got 4 episodes left. How long are they going to hold on to it? What happens when you get good voice actors? The dude moves like tech. That dude moves like tech. I'm just saying. Straight to testing, because why not? Hemlock, cold, and calculating as always to get things started off. Somebody left her in a room by herself. It's far too late for that. She's too far into this. And again, the fact that we don't see many people survive this series gonna be nuts. These next 4 weeks are gonna be off the chain. All right, how is Clone Force 99 going to respond? He had this lead this whole time. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Forgot Fee and Tech were like romantic, but the fact that bringing her back further confirms Tech is in this. This isn't a base. This is a fort we're watching, folks. This is a fort of the strongest. Okay, the strongest magnitude. Oh, found Rampart. Erebus, Erebus. 3 people storming a base. Star Wars in a nutshell. Massively outnumbered, but doing the best they can. The stealth approach is literally turning everything off and just manually falling in like a hunk of junk. That's can't be good for you. Like the amount of G force that your body's absorbing. See Clone Force 99 do what they do best. Infiltration, just like the old Imperial day. I mean, not the old Imperial days, like the old clone days. Will Rampart even be willing to talk? Is the real thing. There's your action. You got to take it out. I guess I got a lot to say. I don't speak what you speak, but he keeps verbally responding as if he does. It sounds like we have a plan that we can agree on. So they're gonna try and get basically grab onto it, get carried in, do that. We'll have the whole scoop undershot. Not every spy show loves doing at some point. I do love the clones, so it's gonna be interesting to see how everything plays out in that regard. No one heard that? It's a giant metal tin can. There it is. Good punch. Good old one and done. Nice. Still got it. Hmm. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So everyone's been released, but Rampart, give up your information. Interesting indeed. Rampart with all the moves out here. You think, or you know it's capitalized. We're gonna get a big, big battle. A lot of barricades. Oh, okay, they have a big gun too. Why are you not using the big one? There you go. Nice shot. Up and over, up and over. I don't know why you didn't start with that. Like, you didn't trust him, so he had to do all this unnecessary shenanigans. A nice little drift there, cliffs. They got this is basically Fast and Furious Star Wars. There you go. Oop, bye. Clones versus clones. Uh, Oh, okay. Smash him against the wall. You just shoot the cliff if you're worried about all this. There we go. Mm-mm. Wrecker, come on. Usual slow mo makes you worry about it till the very last second. Well done. Mm. Sorry about that. Unexpected. Don't want to be coughing in your guys' ear. That's rude of me. My bad. And this is going to come up good and a complete match. Emery, though, is thinking of potentially spoiling the test sample, but Hemlock shows up right on time. Oh boy, things are about to get interesting. Is she just going to show her the kids, or is he going to show her the whole base of operations here? Does it matter? I don't know why you're telling her all this space operations. Mm, I wonder if Omega is going to somehow be linked up to Ray. Like they ultimately have her be Palpatine's successor, which is part of the Necromancer plan. So everything is linked cohesively together like that. Yay! I hope you like white walls. Because you'd be staring at them for a while. Like a long, long while. All right, so that was an interesting episode. I do have to say though that overall, X Men hit it completely out of the park. I'd give them the nod for this week's episode of the week thus far. As far as our animated series is concerned, I really liked what we had ongoing with everything concerning Star Wars. So it was a nice touch there. I'm going to kind of finish wrapping up here shortly. I think ultimately, due to the midichlorians and the way things are going, that with the M count, somehow Omega and the batch of kids that they have incarcerated are going to be linked together in a way to continue a strong bloodline, which could potentially lead to how we have Palpatine have all these bodies able to be force essence transferred into, which ultimately is how we ended up with the race storyline. Because I'm just going to be perfectly blunt here and apologize for those who aren't used to the usual bluntness that Geek Variants does provide at times. I'll be more reservedly. I don't like to be too unabashedly out there. I don't think any one of us thinks Palpatine actually had sex and had a family in that manner or had somebody that he was actively seeing to make these things happen. So clones would be the only natural way to continue a bloodline while not having to do the deed. So that's possibly where I'm going to go with this. I know a lot of people joke he's Papa Palpatine. He can do anything he wants in this regard. That being said, I don't care how much money, power, and influence you have. I don't think this particular individual is staying active, if you catch my drift. So this whole plan is going to be tied into that. Fee came in clutch as always, but her reintroduction for this season is going to tie into Brown Eyes even more. So they are just putting the hammer on the nail here, just to drive home the point that this guy is still back. Strong personal belief, a lot of facts pointing in that direction. I will full breakdown for that probably here in the next 20, 30 minutes. If not, be sure to hit that lovely red subscribe button so you can go ahead and catch that. Or if you're on Twitch, hit that lovely red follow button. Is it even red? Hit that lovely follow button. I don't even know what color it is. I need to spend more time on Twitch. So all things geek we got covered for you here. X-Men 97 we broken down tomorrow afternoon, and then probably like an hour after we finish covering our X-Men 97 breakdown, we will have Fallout, which I know I will be on. I don't know if any of our other amazing geeks will be on. I'm hoping so. Hoping for either Will or Tony's participation if they are able to. It's been a hectic week for everybody. It's been crazy, crazy scheduling. But for you geeks out there, we'll have it covered for you. Nothing to worry about in that regard. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you for checking out Geek Variants if you're new. And I will see you guys in the next episode, which will be tomorrow for X Men 97 and Fallout. Super excited for that. See you then.